Good afternoon, Patriot pals. Thank you for joining me. How are you? Have a good day, everyone, and God bless you. Alright, now we will come to today's news. And what we have here is another leftist expose over in Michigan. Of course, Michigan is the heart right now of all things corruption, leading back to the source, back individuals. We have Gretchen Whitmer, who is the governor there. Hopefully we'll lose in November. Hopefully the people of Michigan have realized the tyranny they had been placed under with the rule of Gretchen Whitmer, and how she went after people that who wants to just live their lives even throughout COVID. And we know that many lies that were propagated in order to control individuals across the state. And of course, not only that state crossing us, but one of her right-hand lackeys, who is the Secretary of State, I believe. Secretary? Yeah. Secretary of State in Michigan, Joycelyn Benson. She was busted not actually taking care of the voter rolls where she was commanded by a federal judge in the state of Michigan to cure the electoral rolls to get rid of these dead voters off the rolls. While she did not do that after she said she did. And of course, why would she want to eliminate a big voting block? For a certain party? Why would she want to do that? And that voting block is absolutely guaranteed to vote one way. Why would you want to get rid of that voting block, really? So let's get to take a look at the story over here that says sorrow's back. Michigan Secretary of State Joycelyn Benson lies and says she has prioritized and ensuring accuracy of voting rolls. This lady isn't as an absolute, like a clone of Gretchen Whitmer. I believe these women are manufactured in a factory or something to the left-wing sort of based politician factory that they just boop like the little conveyor line of these people soars back. Michigan Secretary of State Joycelyn Benson is caught in another outright lie in late August in Michigan District Court throughout her attempt to keep 26,000 dead voters to remain on the voter rolls. Why would you want to get them off the voter rolls? You know why? There's no other reason for this maneuver except for, of course, making sure an entire block of voting individuals who are no longer with us, who have been deceased, would vote one way. She knows it. We know it, source knows it, and everyone else knows it. The Federal Rossello report, it said the United States Western District Court of Michigan denied Michigan Secretary of State Joycelyn Benson attempt at dismissing public interest legal foundation's lawsuit pertaining to the failure to remove dead registrations from the state's voter rolls. The court also dismissed motions to intervene from leftist groups such as a Philip Randolph Institution to Michigan Alliance for Retired Americans and Rise How Much, who they advocate for their retired to the afterlife day voting no more. Trump-endorsed candidate Christina Carmo, the Michigan GOP candidate for Secretary of State, called after Michigan media for ignoring a judge denial of a motion to dismiss from Secretary of State Joycelyn Benson's office. But on Sunday, when Benson was asked about the dead voter, she insisted on keeping on the voter rolls. She openly lied about her actions. Joycelyn Benson said, "We have maintained and prioritized ensuring the accuracy of our voting list since I took office." Out bright line. And she knows that Benson only removed 177,000 voters from the rolls after the 2020 election, not before. You cannot really trust a word this woman says. And now she's fighting keep the dead voters on the roll so they can continue to keep voting. Yeah. Who knew? Who knew that people were such? They were just so interested in politics. I had no idea they were so interested in politics, I guess. You know, when there's nothing else to do, and CNN is the only thing blasted across the cemeteries. Oh, I guess you do seem to care about politics and, well, that much brainwashing. I guess you'll vote one way to anyway. Let's get into great news. For us here in the US. Great news for President Trump. The Judge Cannon today actually went and granted officially the request by former President Donald Trump and his legal team to appoint a special master to review the documents seized by the FBI from his Florida home in August. Now, I have reported that last weekend, she said not this past weekend, but the previous weekend, about 9 days ago. It was on a Saturday if I'm correct. Judge Keenan, who was appointed by President Trump to the bench, said that she was considering strongly going and granting the request from President Trump and his legal team to have a special master review the documents that were searched by the FBI. Now, for not familiar, and this is huge, folks. And here's why. A special master is an outside legal expert who looks at the documents as generally a judge. I'm trying to find the exact one here. I just like it. usually an outside lawyer or former judge, to look at those documents. But here is the best part, here is the beauty behind this. Biden and his people are locked out. The decision by U.S. District Judge Aileen Cannon came despite the objections of the Justice Department, which had an outside legal expert was not necessary, in part because officials had already completed their review of potentially privileged documents. By the way, as I also previously reported, some of these privileged documents have been seen by FBI agents who were not allowed to see those FBI documents. So they go, yeah, little we made some mistakes here, but everything's okay. Wait to get into the Barron Trump versus Hunter story that's also broke today. This is interesting. And this will be to add this to the list of there's no way in how we'd leave anything. This Department of Justice or FBI says the judge had previously signaled her inclination to approve a special master asking the department lawyer during arguments this month. What is the harm? Okay. So the beautiful part about this is that this Labor Day, Judge Aileen Cannon granted the request, but she has also temporarily enjoined or forbidden the Biden regime from reviewing and using the CS material, those pending the completion of the review. The judge also temporarily enjoined the government from reviewing and using the CS materials pending the completion of the review. That camp grants Trump and his legal team a side benefit of stalling the fascinating proceedings that have unfolded since the August 8 FBI search of Mar-a-Lago. This is a beautiful thing. Right? Art breaks down this way. The appointment is likely to slow the pace of the department's investigation into the presence of top-secret information at Mar-a-Lago, given the judge's directive that the Justice Department may not, for the moment, use any of the CS material for investigative purposes. But it's not clear that it will have any significant effect on any investigative decisions or the ultimate outcome of the probe. Of course it won't. The outcome of the probe by the DOJ, the investigative decisions have already been made before there was ever any investigation. This is yet another witch hunt hoax against President Trump to stop him from running in 2024. And having him be inaugurated on January 20, 2025. It is that simple. But this is good news. Because this is what they were going to do, whatever skullduggery, whatever trickery that they were in the middle of, they were going to roll out a September or October surprise, to try to do something for the midterms. Distract, and then do something else, I don't know, maybe have a flag of false origin. Not surprised if one of those or several of those crop up in the next 60 to 90 days. Perhaps something else to push everyone away from actually going to the polls and voting in person. And having people I don't know, perhaps as to absentee and mail-in voting. Folks, this is their mo. And it has been slowed down. Thanks to Judge Cannon here. Aileen Cannon. Alright. Let's look into this, folks. This answers the question? Well, we know that we don't really know the answer to it. But this gives us more insight into why are they always going after Trump and his people. And Hunter has escaped any sort of scrutiny. Well, we've got this. We've got this from today, Monday, on Labor Day. This is a comment from President Trump on Barron Trump's ruin being raided at Mar-a-Lago. So I showed you over the weekend the clip of what he had to say during the Trump rally, but this is what he was already tripped out. So they're rife. So they riffled through the living quarters of my 16-year-old son, Barron, and the loved and respected former First Lady of the United States, Melania. But it's despite being proven high crimes and treason, and just plain common theft, all pointed out in the laptop from hell and elsewhere. They never raided or broke into the house of Hunter Biden, or perhaps even more importantly, the house of Joe Biden, a treasure trove. This is a country that's unfair and broken. We are truly a nation in decline. And that's President Trump putting a lot more mildly than I would have. I say we are already living in a third world Marxist tyranny where the installed puppet of the CCP and the globalists uses the government as his private Gestapo and Stanziano. No semi-fascism when it comes to the Biden crew, which is essentially the third term of one Barack Hussein Obama. It's full fascism, and no stop. Now, folks, we're getting even more information here. The coming out of today, the New York Post breaking the story. Well, the story was broken a few days ago, but President Trump is expounding on it. Top Justice Department lawyer was partners with Hunter Biden's attorney. That's right. And now this is interesting because this is coming up in one place as being a breaking news story today, but when I actually click on the New York Post, it's dated September 3rd, so I don't know what's going on here. Backdating? I don't trust these dates. But the conservative news is reporting it as having broken today, Monday. On Monday, the New York Post reported that a top DOJ attorney, Nicholas McQuaid, was partners with Hunter Biden's attorney, Chris Clark. A top DOJ attorney was partners with Hunter Biden's attorney. Nicholas McQuaid was named acting head of the Justice Department's Criminal Division on January 20, 2021. That same day President Biden was inaugurated. And in December 2020, Hunter Biden had hired former federal prosecutor Chris Clark to assist with his federal criminal defense. And he had worked alongside McQuaid at Latham & Watkins. Back in April 2013, McQuaid worked as White House lawyer during Barack Obama's presidency. McQuaid has served as a partner at Latham & Watkins, where he worked closely with Clark on multiple cases. So the top DOJ attorney Nicholas McQuaid was partners with Biden's attorney, Chris Clark, who was connected via McQuaid, who is part of the Obama legacy. Here's something that happened in 2021 so we can get a full scope of the political bias. If you're not nervous or scared of the DOJ, FBI, then you're uber rich or got bigger brassiere than I do. I'm out here exposing myself, right? Reporting the news, reporting the skullduggery, the corruption of the Department of Justice, of Merrick Garland, of Joe Biden, of Hunter Biden, of Christopher Wray, of AG, Bill Barr, and a myriad of other characters. Lee scanned a million ways from here to Zimbabwe and back. Here is another example of them going after Barron Trump, going after anyone associated with Trump and conservatives, and giving the people who do the same crimes or worse. Barron Trump not being guilty of any crime, but letting people like Hunter Biden slide cover for them. McQuaid arrested conservative Twitter, Douglas McKay, in 2021 on junk charges. Mackey was charged with interference of you-know-what, after posting tweets, okay. He was arrested in Wild West Palm Beach, Florida. Something Democrats also did. But McQuaid arrested the conservative but let Democrats off without charges for the same exact crime. So now this is the breaking news for Labor Day. This is President Trump now commenting on this. On Monday morning, President Trump posted on his latest development on Truth Social, quote, "The fired FBI agent it was just reported was given a laptop from how 11 days before the presidential election, he would not reveal it to anyone, knowing it would knock Biden out of the race and wouldn't even be close." President Trump has something to say about the results of that year, which I cannot say here is verboten. Forbidden, it's off limits to even report how President certain things, so we will go there. But we will say that President Trump concluded this particular truth by saying the FBI is corrupt. And then he said also just out the top Department of Justice lawyer was partners with Hunter's attorney. The whole thing is one giant scam. And then he asked for a redo of what I wonder what you could probably guess. There you go, folks. Thank you very much. WWG1WGA. Give me your thoughts below and